Good morning. Okay, I have for you a journal with one of the shortest titles of any of them. It's called, Is That a Problem or a Gift? Heart knows. And it's from yesterday, Saturday, 4/16/2011, first of that day. And the Mayan day was 13, Serpent. Okay, here we go. You know, you may laugh at this, but I'll share it with you. I wake up to a new world every day. And sometimes that's funny, and sometimes it's exalting, and sometimes it's wonderful, and then sometimes it's like this morning when I wonder if I'm really just full of full of it. Okay? And so I was sitting here and this is funny to me anyway. Um, I told God, okay, if I'm really just full of it, uh, I need you to show me that, and I'll be open to it. So I thought, okay, I'll go back and I'll read the journal that came through yesterday, and I'll be alert to see if I'm just full of it. Well, this is what I read. So you tell me. The journal. Today, by the Mayan calendar, is a day of ascension or completion energies. The ones that come round every 13 days, of course, not the big ascension that so many are looking forward to. But even those are special days. Now, I suppose all of the days are special in their own way, but ascension ones are nice in their sense of completion or wholeness, of being able to look back over a cycle just past, but with a vision to sum it up, with the energy of a summing up, of a completion, and being ready to carry that on up into the next level, climbing the spiral of spirit. All life is cycles, of course. They are endless and interpenetrate and inhabit one another, all synchronizing in ways that the 3D self does not see the wholeness of. It can't. One must transcend a certain level in order to be able to see its wholeness. As long as one is identified with it, within any part of it, one does not have sufficient perspective to view the whole. Well, so it seems in 3D, to me anyway. It's like Einstein said about problems. They cannot be solved by remaining on the same level with them. We must either step up or step back to fully see or comprehend. How often our seeing and our comprehension go together. Vision, this inner sort of vision, is such a marvelous thing. By backing off from things, from situations, even from the life, and inhabiting just the vision, one can garner so much. It's amazing what vision can bring. With this vision, heart vision, goes comprehension, quite often, a level of comprehension that both transcends and contains what is seen. It's bizarre. There's an inner understanding that when it is present goes well beyond what the mind can deliver. There are those who will not believe the 3D mind can be transcended, or that it is transcended this way. I don't care. Let them have their experience of life. I have mine. Belief itself is what most often gets in the way of things, of people understanding one another. Misunderstanding misunderstanding results when belief systems don't harmonize. As a whole, mankind has not been taught in this age the power of belief, how belief itself structures the life, the experiences within it. This would be sad if it were not for the fact that we are rising up and out of all of this nonsense, of the web of lies and beliefs we're encased within. For whatever reasons this is happening, I am grateful. We all deserve to know. That's just how I see it anyway. It's time to leave falsehoods, all of them, behind. Let them eat dust. We're waking up, shedding them like old garments. Some we shed slowly, some rather fast, of those garments that have bound us and limited us for so long. We've been shackled and caged in our own set of beliefs, yet without knowing that. How very strange that we could be reduced to this state, yet remain so unknowing. Go figure. Oh, sure, on some level or other, we know all about this. I know that as well, and it does bring some comfort. It really does, but not always. Why not? I don't know. Perhaps because to go and dive into that inner knowing doesn't provide the whole answer. There's also this part of us still here, the 3D part that's not aware of it. So, we're as if disconnected, a bit schizophrenic, to be both knowing and not at the same time. Very strange on the one hand. On the other, it's just the two sides of the coin. The same coin. You see, our beliefs get in the way of so much we could experience. Beliefs are powerful. They have to be dealt with before moving on. They hold us back. The very belief structures themselves have to be challenged. For, based on beliefs, we create things. Things we like, yes, but also things we hate and things we often regret. All that we see, we're the creators of that. No, not the 3D level of us, but us, all the same. We create things like the belief structures we're entangled in to this day, with our very own beliefs being that which is holding us back. What a paradoxical thing life is. It's very odd, and it's good to have or develop a sense of humor. It will come into play often in this awakening we are engaged in. That's what I found anyhow. As long as we are enmeshed so tightly in our beliefs, especially in believing that we are the body, the mind, or anything physical at all, so long will we be bound, self-bound. There are many who recognize the darkness of their entrapment. They recognize this and want out of it. Yet, so often, we wait for another to come along and free us. We have given practically all of our power away without ever recognizing that. What a quandary! What a challenge! What a great potential there, unrecognized, untapped. We've not been taught to take responsibility for our life, you see. How quick we are to point fingers of blame, here and there, everywhere. There's quite a cast of characters provided, ready to play the oppressor, the bad guy, the meanie, however we want to lay out our cast of characters in our very own play, our life. Some people are angry that they were even born into this that they see as such a mess. They are angry about most everything with fingers of blame pointing outward, much like the quills on a porcupine. I wish they could see themselves this way even once. It would help. They would laugh. Why would it help? Because without a new vision, a new perspective on things, nothing changes. It all remains the same. Even over multiple lifetimes, we carry such attitudes, friends. Their origins go very deep. They grow into such a magnitude that, of course, they seem very real, insurmountable. Yet, they're not. They are self-created cages that lock and limit our experience. While we can see the locked down and limited part, what we miss is the self-created aspect of it. We don't take any responsibility at all for our creation. Until we do, things just cannot change. Now, in heart, we know that. Why not? Why can't things change, absent a new seeing, a new perspective? Well, because all change must come from the inside. We say, but of course, once we see this, but not until we see. Until then, we're just trapped. We're on the same level with it. We gripe and bemoan our fate, this or that aspect of why things aren't working out our way. And that's all we can see from there. Who knows what will be the catalyst for each one? To open heart vision, the inner eye, which is single and complete, it is different for each one. For some, even for many, it is the astral travel, the OBE, the NDE, getting out of the body of self or another. These experiences will or can bring on quite a change, an altered perspective. It takes you out of yourself, of the self you thought self to be. For others, it will be reading someone else's words, of stepping in for just a bit to another experience or perspective that will turn the key in the self-created lockdown so they can be free. However it happens, most of us have had at least a taste of this. Even reading fiction or watching a good movie can, for a while, take us out of our cage a bit. It doesn't have to be some great grand experience. It doesn't matter what the catalyst is. What matters is what you then see. What matters is if you can let go of your self-created belief system long enough to explore new territory. How well can you let go? Are you practicing that? Holding beliefs lightly? It can be helpful. Not being attached either to things or to ways of viewing them. Of course, all you need do is to center in heart, and the rest is taken care of pretty much. Heart is not locked down in any way. It is not connected to just this or just that. Heart is free. Heart has no fear either. When in heart, you're quite free. But can you recognize it? Or do beliefs get in the way of experiencing this interior freedom? Now, most of us will have had another experience of this. They'll center down, but what they'll see will be some sort of issue or problem that presents itself. They'll think they're not free. They'll be looking at that, excuse me, they'll be looking at that and just seeing a problem, one they'd rather not see, one from which they would prefer to be free. There they sit. We've all had this experience. Well, I'd like to offer another perspective on that, if I may. Consider this. Perhaps what you're seeing is just exactly what higher self has put there in front of you. Have you asked higher self why it did that? What's important there in that for you to see? Do your beliefs interfere with seeing higher self acting this way? Your beliefs around negativity, for instance. Is it possible that what you're viewing as a problem or issue there could actually be a gift? What if higher self put that there just to show you something? What if you're being shown the main or the most important block in your way? Is it possible that higher self would have something to say on this if you would just ask? There's a law we run up against often. It's called free will. It can also be said as none compels. In certain ways, we are more free than we realize or take advantage of. We just believe ourselves into being trapped. Now, just consider if this could be so. Be open to it, to the possibility. Now, there's a real conversation that can go on once you're centered in heart that you may not have taken full advantage of yet. The trick is, you must ask. Higher self will not force anything on you. None compels, remember? Thus, if you don't ask, you don't learn. Again, please see it like this. You are more in control than you may yet see. It's a good thing, not a problem. Do you see it like this? And if not, what beliefs are in the way? What makes you see life and see what life presents as a problem? Could you perhaps make an attitude change here and then see what remains of the problem once you've ceased to view it that way? Now, back into heart, please. Let's see what I'm saying here. How to sum it up the best way to help you break through to another level. I don't know. Just remember that it's called the still small voice for a reason. It doesn't shout. It doesn't argue with you. It requires a certain amount of presence, of just being still, of just being, maybe even of asking quietly before it is heard. One thing I can share, though, is that on some level, this inner voice is always speaking with you. You're never, no, not ever, all alone. Just have a look at that word, for example, alone. Add one more letter that's already present there, and it becomes all one, not alone. All one. Alone equals all one. Ha! I like that. Paradox. Well, that's the underlying reality there. Can you see? If not, can you at least start to see how you limit yourself by your beliefs? If you want help with this seeing, go within. That help is quite literally always present. They're in heart. If you will just go there and be still for a bit, you will find this. You're no different than anyone else. It's present for everyone. You don't even have to be good for this. It just is. So, next time you go within and something comes up before your sight, something you're tempted to look away from or brush off, look again. That's all I'm saying here. Look again to just see if it may be something higher self is sharing with you. Ask some questions. Why not? Ask, what is the gift here? Is there some possible growth hidden within or through the appearance of this seeming problem or negativity? Then simply be still. Oh, and be ready for a surprise. Just be open. One never knows, of course. Heart knows, though. Heart can distinguish between what is just the mind trying to make a distraction and what the higher self offers. Heart simply knows. Don't worry yourself with it. Just let go. Listening and observing, just watching, is good. But sometimes it helps to ask a question or two. Not too many now. That would be mind. Stay within heart. Okay, I'm tacking this little bit on at the end. I realized I forgot something. First of all, I forgot to explain why I'm this truck here this time, incarnating the truck in this experience. And that's because, well, most of us just want to keep on trucking right through our problems without stopping and pausing to look at them. So that was the idea behind that. Now, as for what did higher self show me when I went back through the journal, I just have to say that, I'm amazed at these things. And it's not that I'm so wonderful either. And so I think maybe I finally figured it out. It's the two sides of the coin thing. On the one hand, I'm full of it. I'm the dummy here, And in 3D, it kind of tends to feel like that. I'm not saying that's real, that's just a seeming. But on the one hand, we have the seeming. And on the other hand, well, if there's any magnificence that flows through this work at all, and I see it, it's what's in heart, it's not me. The same thing is in every heart. We all have access to an inner divinity. And so, as I read back over, well, that's what I saw. So, be seeing you soon. Remember sometimes to put on the brakes. Have a good one. Yesterday, and I'll be alert to see if I'm just full of it. Well, this is what I read. So, you tell me. The journal. Today, by the Mayan calendar, is a day of ascension or completion energies. The ones that come round every 13 days, of course, not the big ascension that so many are looking forward to. But even those are special days. Now, I suppose all of the days are special in their own way, but ascension ones are not in level in order to be able to see its wholeness. As long as one is identified with it, within any part of it, one does not have sufficient perspective to view the whole. Well, so it seems in 3D, to me anyway. It's like Einstein said about problems. They cannot be solved by remaining on the same level with them. We must either step up or step back to fully see or comprehend. How often our seeing and our comprehension go together. I wake up to a new world every day. And sometimes that's funny, and sometimes it's exalting, and sometimes it's wonderful, and then sometimes it's like this morning when I wonder if I'm really just full of full of it. Okay? And so I was sitting here and this is funny to me anyway. Um, I told God, okay, if I'm really just full of it, uh, I need you to show me that, and I'll be open to it. So I thought, okay, I'll go back and I'll read the journal that came through. Good morning. Okay, I have for you a journal with one of the shortest titles of any of them. It's called, Is That a Problem or a Gift? Heart knows. And it's from yesterday, Saturday, 4/16/2011, first of that day. And the Mayan day was 13, Serpent. Okay, here we go. You know, you may laugh at this, but I'll share it with you. Nice in their sense of completion or wholeness, of being able to look back over a cycle just past, but with a vision to sum it up, with the energy of a summing up, of a completion, and being ready to carry that on up into the next level, climbing the spiral of spirit. All life is cycles, of course. They are endless and interpenetrate and inhabit one another, all synchronizing in ways that the 3D self does not see the wholeness of. It can't. One must transcend a certain